this class I will be discussing with river ecosystem. We will call it as riverscape. What do you mean by riverscape is, where does river form? In the sense it forms in mountain, and where does it end? It ends in a sea or a ocean. So from the top to the bottom you have different types of river and the structure is different. I will discuss one by one. It starts from the mountain and it ends in the sea. I would like to bring you up with some statistics. When we talk about river, what is the largest river in the world? Nile River, which is in Egypt. So what is the total running length of that river? 6,695 kilometers. That much long is the river called Nile. Even Egypt is very desert oriented range. We have a river called a Nile River. Next largest river is Amazon, which is in Brazil. It is not too much shorter. It is 6,400. Yangtze River, which is there in China. Like that you have top rivers in the land. Can you see any river in India in this largest river? No. Let us see about Indian rivers. Yes, largest river running in India, Ganges River, Ganga, you know, 2,525 kilometer it runs. But what is the largest river kilometer? 6,900. You see the difference? 6,695. But in India, even the 10th largest river is Amur, which is 4,444 kilometers. Now in India, you see the largest river is running called Ganga. You have 2,525. You see in southern India, whatever rivers are there which are very less. Can you understand by the statistics? So why I am discussing you here is, certain species you would have not at all seen. You would have stuck up in South India. You would have not at all seen how the river and how the ecosystem works. If you want to experience something, you would have been there, isn't it? So since we are not there, the Kaveri River where we are is 800 kilometer and we can see smaller ecosystem only. If I discuss with forest, even we are lagging in forest only you can see in zoo, where you can see forest oriented living organisms. Why does the problem in river occur is, rivers are flowing throughout India. Can you see the dark spots, darkest area? These are all called runoff. What do you mean by runoff is, river is generated in mountain and it ends in sea. Now river is a resources, isn't it? Fresh water is a resources. What we are doing is, currently we are not consuming 100% of river water to our use. What is happening? Can you see this blue color, dark blue? What is dark blue in the sense? It is called runoff. What do you mean by runoff is, it is just flowing from the mountain to the ocean. We are not at all utilizing 25% of the river water. We are not at all utilizing it, just run off into the sea. But in other side we are fighting for water. India and Pakistan is fighting for water. Even before war there was a water problem. In between states, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, everywhere you can see. But technically if you see, we have runoff of more than 25%. We are simply wasting water one side and we are fighting for what we have least. So as an engineer you have to understand technically that this runoff has to be utilized. Where does this runoff happen is, can you see all the coastal areas? Why? Because the river generates in mountain and it ends as runoff here. But whatever rivers is flowing at the other side is not having with high runoff. Can you see here? Light blue color. That means we are utilizing that river completely. At certain place we are not utilizing. That is why it is becoming into a runoff. Can you see this dark color? What is that color? You can see evapotranspiration. It evaporates. Is it benefit or it is adverse to us? If evaporation from the river is happening in the sense, is it good or bad to us? It is good. Yes. What happened? That evaporated water will be condensed in cloud and it supplies again. So whatever evaporation happens, it is again going to become condensed in cloud and again it is going to fall. So it is not a problem. This evaporation cannot be stopped. All the river waters are evaporated. Can you see 50% of the water is being evaporated. This is okay. But this runoff has to be stopped. What I want to highlight you here is, as an engineer, we are not consuming total river resources which is available for us. This is a statistics before we get into this. Now, structure of river ecosystem. What are the structures? Physical structure. River depends upon the channel shape. Channel means the cross section. Cross section means some river might be very broad. Ganges river might be very broad. Even dolphins are living in that Ganges river. Have you heard? Around 3,600 dolphins live in Ganges, river Ganges. That much of wide is Ganges river. So you can see according to channel shape, some rivers are very short. According to the channel shape, depth, some rivers are higher in depth and substrate. So you have biological structure. That means this is physical structure. How much wider and how much deep is called physical. Biological means what are the living organisms are available in that. This is called biological structure. Living organism in the sense plants, algae. Next one is quality of water. These three things will change in a river ecosystem. This I will explain now. Zonation of rivers. Rivers are three zones. What are they? Source zone, transition zone and floodplain zone. Now, source zone is if you touch the river water, if it is too cold, then you are in the source zone. Have you seen the same Kaveri water near Coorg will be very chill. When you visit that same river near Nanjangud or somewhere, it will not be that much chill. If you go too much deeper or nearby the seashore, it will be very warm. Have you seen the difference? The same river has the temperature difference. That is called source zone will always have cold water, clean, oxygen-rich water. That means more oxygen will be there, more aquatic species will be living there. Next thing is transition zone is the river will not move much faster. Have you visited river Ganges, Ganga river? It will be flowing very fast. If you go to Haridwar or Uttar Pradesh, etc., it will be flowing much faster. But if you go to Bihar, West Bengal, etc., it will slowly flow. So, and warmer water will be there, nutrients will be high. Floodplain zone. I will give you a image which will give you a good understanding. You see here, this is called source zone, where the water is flowing through mountain. Source zone. Transition zone is in between this. The nutrients will be transported from here to this zone. This is called tributary floodplain. Here you cannot do agriculture. Why? Because the water will not be available in that much plenty in order to use. Here we do agriculture. Agricultures are done at this place. Have you heard a technical name called delta area? Delta. When you are hearing news, these are all called delta regions. They will say in delta region you have maximum water. In delta regions you have maximum agriculture. Now floodplain zone. This is called the end part where you will be, where the river water will be much warmer and salter. It will become more salter and it will end up in a seashore. So this is called decomposition and nearby the ocean. Vertical zone. I have discussed horizontal zone from the top to the ocean, mountain to the ocean. Vertical zones are surface layer, water column and zone. What are these three is, river has a surface layer which is sunlight, oxygens are there. If you dive deep into the river, the sunlight will slowly deplete. So you can see swimming organisms will be there, plankton, etc. They are small microorganisms. You cannot see very small microorganisms. They eat leaves. Zooplankton is the small living organisms which eat planktons are called zooplankton. They are called another living organism. Yes. Big zones are the bottommost part where you will be having decomposers. What are decomposers? Decomposers are bacteria are called decomposers, earthworm, etc. Now, this is the application part, what I am discussing here. Can you see the river ecosystem? It starts from here. The place where you have urban settlement, source zone, where you will be getting a good water supply. Kaveri water dam will be available only nearby source zone. Can you see here? Dams are provided in this place. In which zone? Transition zone they have provided. For drinking water purpose, you can provide dams at these source zones. Then next thing you have water mills, that is water generation. Then you will be having a agricultural land, ships and boats will be there. Where to provide the facilities or the functions is the key part here. The shipping zone, port zones will be at the end part of a river ecosystem. It should not destroy here. And you can see urbanization, the water will be discharged into the rivers. The river ecosystem provides a channel for all the purpose. Now coming to ecosystem abiotic part. Abiotic components are water, non-living. So abiotic component is, first one is water. If it is oxygenated, it will be different according to the source. It differs. Sediment, that means rock, salt and silt. Where you will find rock in a river? Origin zone, transition zone or end zone. Which zone you will find rocks? Origin, Kashmir. Wherever the river is there, can you see large boulders, large stones will be there. If you visit nearby the seashore, can you see large boulders in the seashore? Only small silt and sand you can find. Why? Because that larger stone is being slowly eroded and that has become into a small silt or sand. That is why it is called sediment. At origin zone it will be in rock and at end zone it will be in form of silt. Silt means it will be in a glassy shape. Have you seen? It will be very glassy. If you take a handful of sand in the ocean, can you see the glassiness? It will shine. Those are called what? Silt. Nutrients, sunlight, oxygen and pH. These are called the abiotic component. Next thing, forest. Territory animals. Lion will take all the other organisms, tiger, etc. But in terms of river ecosystem, you have heron. So it will be like this and it eats all the fishes, whatever is there. So they are called the territory living organism. Next thing is largemouth bass. It will eat this food chain. So the food chain will be flowing in this manner. You can see the producers. What are producers in river? Cactail. This is called small bunches of grass. This is called cactail. This will be consumed by the tadpole, back swimmers, etc. And finally it will be consumed one by one. So these are called biotic components of river. You see producers, consumers, territory consumers, and last one is decomposers. Decomposers are after death of each and every organism which will be consumed by the decomposers. Yes. Food chain. In last slide, I have shown you the food chain. That means it has a chain link one after the other, which is called food chain. But in food web, you see one organism can be consumed by multiple species. That is called food web. If you take small fish can be consumed by large fish or birds or secondary consumers or this kind of birds. So different forms are there and you can see one living species can be consumed by multiple species. That is called food web. You can see river ecosystem, different kinds of food web. The food web will not be same for everyone. Structure of river is over. What are the structures of river? Vertical structure, horizontal structure. Now the function. How we use the river ecosystem is nutrition. They do carbon cycling, nitrogen cycling and phosphorus. These three cycling is being done by river. If there is no existence of river, these three cycle will not happen. Now next thing is water purification. For construction, what kind of sand earlier they have used before 2000? What kind of sand they have used? Have you seen river sand? They use river sand for construction. But currently they will not use river sand. Why? Because if you take all the river sand, what will happen? Soil erosion. The water will not infiltrate. Isn't it? See, if you pour water in sand, what will happen? It will quickly absorb, no? If you take all the sand, you will be having clay. If you pour water in clay, what will happen? Will it absorb? No, clay will not absorb water quickly. The water will stack there. So, clay and river sand is different. That is why river sand will purify the water. If there is sand, it will purify the water and wetland. Habitat for different species, which I have discussed in earlier slide. Food web support for diverse species. Next thing, flood regulation. If you don't have river, what will happen? All the river water will flow into the land, isn't it? So we have to stop that in order to regulate. It absorbs excess water. Sedimentation. When you see nearby the river, you have number of plantation. Why? Because the nutrients are sedimented at the river sides. That is why you have delta, sandbar and floodplains. Climate regulations will be there if more river waters are there. Human benefits are we use for drinking water, irrigation, fisheries and recreation. This is what I have told you. Starting of the river, you have boulders. Boulders means larger stone. When the river starts to flow, it makes into corbels. Aquarium in your house. Will you use that pebbles? Small pebbles you will use. So those things are called corbels and pebbles. After certain flow, it makes into pebbles, sand, silt and clay. When you find clay in one river, you have to understand that this is end part of the river. Groundwater recharge and decomposition is one of the part of river. Then next thing is water pollution. This is the reason of nitrogen and phosphorus. We are using artificial fertilizers for growing plants. Those will not completely decompose by soil. That chemical of nitrogen and phosphorus will be there. What happens during any rainfall? That nitrogen and phosphorus will be completely vanished and it will end to the river or some pond. So there this nitrogen and phosphorus will create this kind of richness of nutrients. This algae is formed. Is this good or bad for the living organisms here? Bad, yes. It completely takes oxygen. Without oxygen, can aquatic living beings live? No. All the fishes will die. What happens? Only decomposers will be there. What are decomposers? Bacteria, then earthworms, etc. Only decomposers will be there. So this is a pollution. What is the use of studying river ecosystem? In the sense 2022 Central Pollution Control Board, which is there in India, they have informed that 311 polluted rivers are available in India. We are polluting the river. As an engineer, why you study environmental study? In the sense, how the way you have to support this ecosystem. But currently what we do is we pollute around 311 polluted trenches of the river. What are the highest polluted river is river Yamuna, Ganga, Gomati, etc. So these are highly polluted rivers. Industrial effluents, what they do is, I have shown you in previous slide, no? Industries, they discharge that water into the river. How much percentage? 20% of total wastewater is being discharged into the river. Now, Rishabhavati river, is that a river or waste? Rishabhavati, once it was a river, but currently when you see, it is not looking like river. Why? It is a large river which was flowing in origin. Why that ecosystem is damaged? Can you see any aquatic living being there? Why you are studying environmental studies is, we have done, this was the condition, but we have polluted what happened? About 20% of wastewater is polluting the river. Agricultural runoff, which I have told you, no, chemical pollutant. Agricultural fertilizers we use, those are artificial fertilizers which contain what? Eutrophication. Forming of algae above the water, which is called eutrophication. Next thing, where is the Rishabodhi river? Rishabodhi river flowing in Bangalore. This is river ecosystem. Can you show to kids? Come, let me show the river ecosystem. If you call some kids, this is a river ecosystem what we have. No aquatic living being, biotic, abiotic, completely damaged, isn't it? Soil is completely damaged with plastics. Water is completely damaged with industrial waste. What we preserve is this. Like that in India, you have different river. Can you see Yamuna river? This is not clouds. This is what? Yamuna river completely covered with industrial waste. The reason you have to understand, water qualities are reducing, which is the major reason of depletion of river ecosystem. Whatever projects you are doing, which should be used to preserve this ecosystem. Why you are studying forest ecosystem? Sir, these things I have studied in school itself. But why you are studying revamping in the sense? Currently you have many projects. Apply this. Take the project title as preserving forest, preserving river, preserving wetland, etc. Like that you have to apply and then you have to do project. Whatever mini project you search, already it will be existing. Whatever you Google search, somebody would have done. What you do is same thing you copy and do. So instead of that, you think in this way. Nearby us, there is a pollution. Nearby us, there is a ecosystem damage. How well you can improve? This will be a real-time implement. You can preserve the environment. This is the primary motto to provide this kind of subjects. But currently what the student do is, I will get notes, some MCQ question I will get that VTU resource, VTU bank. The websites are there. I will get that notes, study, get passed, go out. For what purpose? If you go out, it is very polluted. Environment is polluted, politicians pollute, policemen pollute, doctors steal your kidney. Nothing is there. If you go there, environment is completely polluted. You have to study here and make change outside. But what some students think is, already it is there, no, I will study that and I will go. If you go there, you pollute the same way what existing people do. You have to think here, change here, then you go out, change outside. Change will not come outside to inside. You have to change here and change the environment. River continuum concept describes. River continuum means what? Starting zone to the end zone is called continuum. It is a continuous process. The river continuum concept describes what? B. B is changes in river characteristics from source to mouth. Yes. Next answer is there. Which of the following is abiotic component of river? C. Is water current is abiotic component. Which zone of river is typically widest and slow flowing? This comes under river structure. There are three zones. Which zone have widest river and slowest flowing? Lower reach is C. When the river reaches the sea, it will be much wider. Which of the following is not a producer in river ecosystem? Which is not a producer? Phytoplankton, I said that they consume the plants and they are some producers. Aquatic plants, periphyton is also there. Zooplankton. What I told, zooplankton consume what? Phytoplankton. Primary consumer in river ecosystem includes A, B, C, D. Primary consumer. D. Is D a consumer? Plant is what? Producer. It is a producer. Bacteria is what? Bacteria is decomposer. They decompose. Large fish is what? Is secondary consumer. Secondary, large fish consumes small fish, isn't it? So what is the answer for this? Insects. Primary consumer means what? Those who eat plants, they are called primary consumer. So insects eat plant, snails eat plant. B is the answer. Which of the following is an ecological function of river? Function of river. What does it do? What does river do? From the origin, what does it take? Transport nutrients, sediments, etc. Yes. The fertile soil deposit by rivers during flood is called fertile land. That soil, what we call? Yes, alluvial soil, alluvium. We call it as alluvium soil. They are called fertile soil. Which function of river is directly related to groundwater recharge? A is called percolation. Percolation means what? If you pour water in a sponge, what will happen? Percolate. It will absorb and percolate. So that is called river act as percolation. If you pour water in sand, it will absorb. This is what I told. Percolation of water from river bed. Next thing. Which of the following is socio-economic function of river? How river helps us socially? Rivers provide transportation for us. Are we using transportation by using river? Have you seen boat? In Europe you have boating system. Here in Kerala, have you seen boating system? Boats are used socially to transfer. That is the answer. Next one. Which of the rivers directly support aquatic living being by increasing dissolved oxygen levels? Get oxygen. Option B is flowing from air. From air you get that. Next one. Which river in India supports largest freshwater dolphin population? River Ganga has dolphin population. Yes. River continuum concept in Indian river ecology refers to B. Changes in physical and biological characteristics from source to mouth.